pool pump and a pool light should not operate off the same 20-amp 240-volt circuit breaker. It's essential to understand why this configuration poses a potential hazard and violates established electrical safety standards. We need to delve into the principles of electrical load calculation, circuit breaker functionality, and the specific requirements outlined in the National Electrical Code, or NEC. Firstly, let's examine the concept of electrical load. Every electrical device, including a pool pump and a pool light, consumes a certain amount of electrical power, measured in watts. This power is determined by the voltage at which the device operates and the current, measured in amps, it draws. The formula relating power, voltage, and current is power equals voltage times current, or P equals V times I. A 20-amp 240-volt circuit breaker is designed to protect a circuit from overcurrents, which can lead to overheating, insulation damage, and potentially fires. The circuit breaker trips or disconnects the circuit when the current exceeds its rated capacity of 20 amps. The NEC provides guidelines for calculating the maximum load that can be safely connected to a circuit. These guidelines take into account various factors, including the type of load, the duty cycle of the load, and the potential for simultaneous operation of multiple loads. For continuous loads, which are defined as loads that operate for 3 hours or more at a time, the NEC requires that the circuit breaker be rated at no less than 125% of the continuous load. This rating is intended to prevent nuisance tripping of the circuit breaker due to sustained high current draw. Now let's consider the specific case of a pool pump and a pool light. A typical pool pump can draw a significant amount of current, especially during startup. The startup current, also known as the inrush current, can be several times higher than the running current. This is because the motor in the pool pump needs to overcome inertia to begin rotating. The NEC requires that motor circuits be sized to accommodate the startup current. The exact requirements vary depending on the type of motor, but in general, the circuit breaker must be able to handle the inrush current without tripping. Similarly, a pool light, depending on its wattage, can also draw a significant amount of current. Incandescent pool lights are particularly energy intensive, while LED pool lights are more efficient. However, even LED pool lights can contribute to the overall load on the circuit. If both the pool pump and the pool light are connected to the same 20-amp 240-volt circuit, the combined current draw may exceed the circuit breaker's capacity, especially during the pool pump startup. This can cause the circuit breaker to trip, interrupting power to both the pump and the light. In addition to the risk of overloading the circuit, there are other safety concerns associated with sharing a circuit between a pool pump and a pool light. Pool pumps and pool lights are typically located in close proximity to water, which creates an increased risk of electric shock. The NEC has specific requirements for grounding and bonding of electrical equipment near swimming pools to minimize this risk. Grounding provides a low impedance path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to trip the circuit breaker quickly in the event of a ground fault. Bonding connects all metal parts of the pool structure and equipment together to equalize the potential and prevent voltage differences that could cause electric shock. If the pool pump and the pool light are on separate circuits, each circuit can be independently protected by a ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI. A GFCI is a device that detects small differences in current between the hot and neutral conductors of a circuit. These differences can indicate a ground fault, which is a dangerous condition that can cause electric shock. When a GFCI detects a ground fault, it quickly interrupts power to the circuit, preventing injury. The NEC requires GFCI protection for all electrical outlets and equipment located within a certain distance of a swimming pool. By separating the pool pump and pool light onto separate circuits, each circuit can be GFCI protected, providing an extra layer of safety. Furthermore, the NEC has specific requirements for the type of wiring that can be used near swimming pools. Underground wiring must be buried at a certain depth to protect it from damage. Wiring that runs above ground must be installed in conduit to protect it from physical damage and moisture. By following these requirements, the risk of electrical hazards near the swimming pool can be minimized. In summary, operating a pull pump and a pull light on the same 20 amp 240 volt circuit is not recommended due to the risk of overloading the circuit and the potential for electric shock. The NEC provides specific guidelines for sizing circuits and protecting electrical equipment near swimming pools. These guidelines should be followed to ensure the safety of swimmers and others who may be in the vicinity of the pool. It is always best to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that your pool electrical system is installed and maintained in accordance with all applicable codes and standards. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to prevent injury. Here's a more detailed breakdown of the relevant considerations and NEC guidelines. Firstly, consider the load calculation. The NEC provides detailed methods for calculating the load on a circuit. This involves determining the amperage draw of each device and applying appropriate demand factors. Demand factors account for the fact that not all devices will be operating at their maximum load simultaneously. However, for critical equipment like pool pumps and lights, it's generally best to assume they could operate concurrently. Secondly, motor load calculations are important. Pool pumps typically use motors, and motor circuits have specific requirements. NEC Section 430 covers motor circuits and includes rules for determining the minimum conductor size, overcurrent protection, and disconnect means. The locked rotor amps, or LRA, of the motor must be considered when selecting the circuit breaker. The LRA is the current drawn by the motor when it's initially starting, and it can be significantly higher than the running amps. Thirdly, lighting load calculation should be determined. Pool lights also contribute to the overall load. The wattage of the light must be converted to amps using the formula amps equals watts divided by volts. This amperage must be added to the pool pump's amperage to determine the total load in the circuit. Fourthly, consider continuous load considerations. If either the pool pump or the pool light is considered a continuous load, which means it operates for 3 hours or more, the circuit breaker must be sized at 125% of the continuous load. This is to prevent nuisance tripping due to heat buildup in the circuit breaker. Fifthly, ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, protection is critical. The NEC requires GFCI protection for most circuits near swimming pools. This includes circuits supplying pool pumps and pool lights. A GFCI detects ground faults, which can occur when current leaks to ground through a person or object. When a ground fault is detected, the GFCI trips the circuit, preventing electric shock. Sixth, bonding and grounding requirements must be adhered to. The NEC has specific requirements for bonding and grounding of metal parts near swimming pools. Bonding connects all metal parts together to equalize their electrical potential, reducing the risk of electric shock. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, allowing the circuit breaker to trip in the event of a fault. Seventh, wiring methods should be appropriate. The NEC specifies the types of wiring that can be used near swimming pools. Wiring must be suitable for wet locations and must be protected from physical damage. Underground wiring must be buried at a certain depth. Eighth, voltage drop considerations must be taken into account. Voltage drop occurs when the voltage at the end of a circuit is lower than the voltage at the source. Excessive voltage drop can cause equipment to malfunction or overheat. The NEC provides guidelines for minimizing voltage drop. Ninth, local codes and regulations may apply. In addition to the NEC, local codes and regulations may also apply. These codes may have more stringent requirements than the NEC. It's important to check with your local building department to ensure that your pool electrical system complies with all applicable codes. 10th, professional installation is recommended. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it's always best to hire a qualified electrician to install and maintain your pool electrical system. A qualified electrician will be familiar with the NEC and local codes and will ensure that your system is installed safely and correctly. In the specific case of a 20 amp 240 volt circuit, it's unlikely that you'll be able to safely operate both a pool pump and a pool light in the same circuit. The pool pump startup current alone may exceed the circuit breaker's capacity. Even if the running current of both devices is less than 20 amps, the circuit breaker may still trip due to the continuous load requirement. It's always best to err on the side of caution and install separate circuits for the pool pump and the pool light. This will ensure that each device has adequate power and that the circuit breaker is not overloaded. In conclusion, while it might seem convenient to run both a pool pump and light off a single 20 amp 240 volt circuit, it's generally not advisable and often violates electrical codes. The potential for overloading the circuit, combined with the critical safety considerations around swimming pools, makes separate circuits the preferred and safer option. Always consult with a qualified electrician to ensure your pool's electrical system meets all applicable codes and safety standards. Remember that electrical codes are in place to protect lives and property, and adhering to them is of paramount importance. Neglecting these codes can have serious consequences, including electrical fires, injuries, and even fatalities. So, prioritize safety and seek professional guidance when dealing with electrical installations, especially in and around swimming pools. The peace of mind and safety you gain are well worth the investment.